In July 2024, a gangster show set in one district of Uttar Pradesh was watched across 98% of India's pin codes in a single weekend. Not a cricket match, not a Bollywood release, a web series. And here's the pattern behind it. The most watched Indian streaming show of 2022 was a crime series. 2023, crime. 2024, crime. 2025, crime again. So how did gangsters, cops and conmen build a business that, in 2024, overtook Indian television itself? The original plan for streaming in India was simple: Bollywood films online plus Hollywood catalogs. Then, in the second half of 2018, two crime shows landed within 4 months of each other. Sacred Games on Netflix in July, Mirzapur on Prime Video in November. And the plan changed. What most people get wrong about this story is the why. They assume crime worked because it was edgy, the swearing, the violence, the stuff television couldn't show. But the numbers point somewhere more useful. Crime became the genre platforms bet on to pull a small-town, mobile-first country into paid streaming. And then to keep it there. This is how that bet played out. In numbers. From 2 shows in 2018 to a film release 3 weeks from now. Start with July 6, 2018. Sacred Games, Netflix's first Indian original series, adapted from Vikram Chandra's novel, created by Vikramaditya Motwane and co-directed with Anurag Kashyap. Netflix's playbook was local story, global audience. And it worked on their terms. Netflix said 2 of every 3 people who watched season 1 were outside India. It picked up an international Emmy nomination the next year. 4 months later, on November 16th, Prime Video answered with Mirzapur, made by Excel Entertainment, set in Mirzapur district in eastern Uttar Pradesh, a carpet exporter who is also the crime boss of the city, and the 2 brothers who come for his throne. Same genre, opposite direction. Netflix went outward. Amazon went inward into the Hindi heartland. Wikipedia's summary is blunt. Mirzapur went on to become the most popular streaming series in India after Sacred Games. But popularity is a vague word. The numbers are not. Season 2 arrived in October 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. Amazon says that within 7 days it became the most watched show ever on Prime Video India, with one of the platform's highest completion rates, and almost half the people who finished it did so within 48 hours. It was watched in more than 180 countries in that first week. Then Season 3, July 2024. Amazon's claim, again, Prime Video India's most watched show ever, watched across 98% of the country's pin codes on launch weekend, and in the top 10 in more than 85 countries. Those are the platform's own numbers. So here's an independent one. Ormax Media, which measures Indian streaming with year-round surveys, put Mirzapur Season 3 at 30.8 million viewers in 2024. The most watched Indian original of the year, ahead of Panchayat at 28.2 and Hiramandi at 21.5. And Ormax counts people, not accounts. Unique viewers in India who watched at least one full episode, overseas excluded. Roughly 31 million Indians sat through at least one full episode of Mirzapur that year, on a show that had already been running for 6 years. Season 4 is in development and, hold this thought, a Mirzapur film is coming to cinemas. Now zoom out because Mirzapur is the headline, not the story. Look at the number 1 Indian streaming original. Every year Ormax has ranked them. 2022, Rudra, a cop thriller, 35.2 million viewers. 2023, Farzi, a counterfeit money thriller, 37.1 million. At the time, the most watched streaming series India had ever produced. 2024, Mirzapur Season 3, 30.8. 2025, Special Ops Season 2, 29.6. Every single one carries the crime label on IMDb. 4 years, 4 crime shows at number 1. Look at the whole 2025 top 5. Special Ops, Criminal Justice, Ashram, The Family Man, Panchayat. 4 of the 5 are IMDb labeled crime. Panchayat, the village comedy, is the lone exception. And this isn't volume without quality. Delhi Crime became the first Indian series to win the International Emmy for Best Drama in 2020. On IMDb today, Scam 1992 sits at 9.2, The Family Man at 8.7, Special Ops 8.6, Sacred Games and Delhi Crime 8.5, Mirzapur 8.4. The genre delivered the biggest audiences and the best-rated shows at the same time. Comedy gave India its most liked shows. Panchayat tops Ormax's likability lists. Crime gave it the most watched ones. That combination is what makes a platform reach for its wallet. And it did. December 2019, New Delhi. Netflix CEO. Reed Hastings said the company was spending about 3,000 crore rupees on Indian content across 2019 and 2020, and cited Sacred Games as the show that had traveled around the world. That summer, Netflix had also launched a 199 rupee mobile-only plan for India. Then watch the audience. Ormax's count of Indians who watch online video at least monthly went from 353 million in 2021 to 601 million in 2025, 41% of the country. Active paid subscriptions sit around 100 million. Connected TV viewers nearly doubled in a single year to 129 million. And the milestone, Fiki and EY report that in 2024, digital media overtook television as India's largest media segment for the first time, 802 billion rupees, with 111 million paid video subscriptions across 47 million households. Television had held that top spot for 20 years. It lost it in the year Mirzapur 3 broke every Prime Video record. So why did this genre carry the load? 4 things, all visible in the data. First, completion. Crime is serialized suspense. Almost half of Mirzapur 2's finishers binged it in 48 hours. That's the retention a subscription business lives on. Second, geography. Hindi heartland crime stories reached 98% of India's pin codes, the same small towns cable television already owned. Third, export. 2 of 3 Sacred Games viewers were abroad. Mirzapur charted in over 85 countries. And fourth, franchise. Ormax notes that in 2025 only 3 titles crossed 25 million viewers, all returning seasons, and every one of them was a crime or thriller series. Now, the honest caveat, crime didn't build Indian OTT alone. Panchayat and Big Boss sit in the same top 10 lists. But every time a platform needed a tentpole, something to launch a season, a plan, a market, it reached for the genre that had already proven it could hold 30 million people. Which brings us to September 4th, 2026, Mirzapur. The movie from Amazon, MGM Studios and Excel Entertainment opens in cinemas in Hindi and Telugu, a standalone story with Pankaj Tripathi and Ali Fazal back in the frame. Think about that loop. Streaming in India was supposed to live off cinema's leftovers. 8 years after a gangster series premiered on a shopping app, its biggest franchise is walking into the theaters it was meant to replace. That is the Mirzapur effect. Crime series didn't just build Indian OTT, they built it big enough to send something back. If you like the business behind the shows you binge, subscribe. There's more like this coming.